Okay, in this video, what I want to do is I want to show you layers. And the reason I want to show you layers is because eventually I want the potion to be an animation where the potion starts to disappear from the bottle and empty out of the bottle. So to do that, we are going to use layers. And what is a layer, you might ask? Well, let me demonstrate here. What a layer is like a clear sheet of paper. So over here in my tools, you'll see there's a plus sign. And if I click on the plus sign, it says add a layer. And it creates a layer, which is like a clear sheet of paper over top of background 1. And for example, if I was to take a brown line here and just draw and scribble over top of it, you'll see there's a brown line in the preview over top of my bottle. Here's the benefit of working with layers. This is all drawn on the layer that's selected. And you can tell what layer is selected because it's highlighted in a lighter gray shade. If I use the eraser tool, you can see I can erase the layer and it's not going to affect the layer below at all because I'm working on a separate layer. I'm erasing on that top clear sheet of paper. Another thing that's really important when working with layers, and I'll make a big pencil here, is if I was to put a brown splotch on top here, the final output is what you see in the preview at the top here. It would look like there's a bottle that's mostly brown. But if you look at my layers, I've still kept the background intact, but you wouldn't see that. What is important is what is drawn on the layers above is going to affect more than what you see on the layers below because they're on top, so you can't see them. There is a slight thing that you can do, though, is we can change how clear that layer is, and that's called the opacity. This is the opacity selector. Right now, the layer is selected at 100%. So you 100% can't see through it. But if I start to raise this to like 50% here, you can see it's sort of a lighter brown that is over top of something else. Sometimes some animators will use this for all sorts of different things, such as shading and effects on objects. But for now, we'll leave everything to 100% as we do our drawing. So I'll just get the eraser and erase that splotch. So here's what I want to do with the potion sprite. I want to take layer 1 and I'm going to double click on it and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it potion. Animators will do this as well because they want to keep track of what things are on what layers. As you get multiple layers and more complex, this is a very simple one, of course, but as you do become more complex, we like to kind of remember what's going on with what. So it's not necessary, but it really helps a lot if you can call this potion, and then we'll call the background, I'll call that the bottle. So now it really helps me keep organized what I'm working with and what I'm trying to do here. So let's start going with the potion. What I want to do with a potion is I want to take all of the red potion out of this layer. How can I do that? Well, first off, what is going to be really important is I need to be on the bottle layer to cut it out. So some of the tools I could use here is I could use a marquee tool, a selection tool. And if I click the selection tool, what it does is I could make a box and you can see it will cut out whatever I make, that whatever is selected. I'm going to go Control Z to undo what I just did because I don't want, that's not going to work. Another type of selection tool I could use, hopefully, there we go, is I could use what is called a magic wand. And what this is going to do, if I use a magic wand, I can click on it, and what it's going to select is everything that is the same color. This can also be a very useful tool, but in our case, it's not going to work because I want all of the potion, the red and the dark red. So that tool is not going to work for this case. But if I wanted to take out all the red, you can see I took out all the red. But that's not what I want to do in here. So I'm going to go back to the regular selection tool, and this time I'm going to go to the very top where there's options for the tools that we've learned before, and this time I'm going to say do a lasso. And when I do a lasso, what it does is it lassos and grabs everything I've got. So I press with the mouse, and I'm going to make an outline of what I want to take. So I just carefully use my mouse, and I can go around and I can select exactly, lasso exactly what I want. So it's sort of a free form shape, and I can cut out of the bottle layer. I can cut all the red potion. Next, I need to click on the potion layer, and I can press Control V, which is paste, and I can paste it, and then I can move that potion back into place. Now, when I'm done, it looks like nothing is different, right? It looks exactly the same. But what I've done is I've separated the potion from the bottle. I want to hide what we see right now. So if I press the bullet here, it'll hide the layer so I can see what's going on in the other layers. And so it turns its visibility off. And you can see the bottle now has nothing in it. And what I want to do now is I'm going to cut this potion, and I'm just going to use the marquee box because I'm going to mark everything. And notice it's not going to cut out the edge of the bottle because on the potion layer, there's only potion. And I'm going to go copy. So I'm going to press the copy this time. I'm going to then select the bottle layer. I'm going to hide the potion just because I don't need to see it. And I'm going to go paste the potion back in this layer. And you'll see none of the black outline came because there was no black outline in the potion layer when I copied it from there. And what I want to do is this time I'm going to use the paint bucket. So let's click on the paint bucket. And what I want to do with the paint bucket is I want to dump paint. And so if I click on, let's say, the dark red, it's going to deposit the color that was selected. Well, this is supposed to be air in the bottle, right? The bottle has air here. So what I want to do is I'm going to use the eyedropper, select the color, the paint bucket, and dump the dark. I'm going to go get the light color, select the light color, paint bucket, and dump the paint. And when I'm done now, I'll make the everything visible. You'll see it looks exactly the same as when we started, but I've put all the potion in its empty layer, and I put all the bottle in its own layer with the air. Great. Actually, now that I look at it, I think I'm going to change the bottle slightly. I'm going to take this blue and I'm going to make it a single pixel like so. And I'm going to take the dark blue and I'm going to make the dark blue go down like this. There we go. I'm going to make the bottle like this for this particular layer. And there you have it.